Asheville, North Carolina lies nestled in the western tip of the Tar Heel State in the midst of the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains. Since 1886, the Battery Park Hotel has served as the city's crown jewel, standing atop Asheville's highest peak. While the building has seen many incarnations, the current structure dates back to the 1920s and in its heyday was the social gathering place and the hub of Asheville society. In fact, 5 presidents have stayed at the Battery Park Hotel, as well as luminaries such as writer F. Scott Fitzgerald and legendary sluggers Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. In fact, Arthur Murray himself once taught dance lessons in this very ballroom.
Time that the Battery Park Hotel was built, it was kind of a flurry of things in particular going on in downtown. It was built in 1924, which was really in the throes of the boom time of all of Asheville's development, really from the 1890s when the railroad arrived through the 1920s and when the Depression hit. There were a lot of people that visited the area, there were a lot of dignitaries that came here. It was just a flurry of activity going on in the 1920s, literally the roaring 20s.
It's an extremely important building to Asheville. Its architecture is typical of the time. It's a very tall, imposing building. It is visible for miles around. Almost from whichever direction you come, your first view of Asheville is of the Battery Park, the old Battery Park Hotel. It's a beautiful building, and we're very glad that it's being expertly preserved.
The architectural style of the Battery Park is what's called Neo-Georgian. In the 1920s, this was a common design to use, and it was used a lot for different hotels. It uses a lot of classical elements. It has the arched windows, it has a lot of detailing that are classical elements, such as broken pediments and full pediments above a lot of the windows. It has limestone detailing. In the lobby, it has a lot of the elements of the classical style with pilasters that are known as Corinthian pilasters. There were also elements of the classics. That particular style would have been used for a building that wanted to be noticed.
In 1980, the Battery Park Hotel was converted to senior housing. Time took its toll, and in 2004, National Church Residences purchased the building and set about an extensive renovation of the structure. Today, the Battery Park Apartments has been restored to its former glory, and while it's no longer the hot spot in town, it's evolved into something better. 122 units of quality, affordable senior housing.
At the time, in the 1970s, was really kind of the downtime for downtown Asheville, if you will. Things were sort of moving out of the downtown, things were kind of getting run down, so there really wasn't a lot of interest in people staying downtown anymore. There were some folks that came in and decided to convert it to elderly housing, which they did, and took the original hotel rooms and combined them together and created the current units that are in the building.
Battery Park was first submitted to us for Section 8 about 25 years ago. It was a beautiful hotel on the top of the hill in Asheville, and it was basically empty. It wasn't being used for anything. So it was submitted for Section 8 project base for 122 residents. Land around the Asheville area is very hard to come by because of the topography. It's in the mountains. So, and the location of Battery Hotel being right downtown is convenient to services. It's exactly what we need for the elderly residents. I think they're 100% occupied with a waiting list to get in. Great reputation, great location, great facility. It just needed to be fixed up.
I lived down at the high-rise down at Aston Park Towers for 9 years, but I soon discovered that I could not live out there on limited income. And this used to be our leading hotel here when I was young. Never knew it was a HUD building. So I came here and applied, and a year later I got in. When I came to live here in '95, it was run down. There were leaks all over the building. And we had terrible problems with leaks and roofs falling in and boiler problems galore. And just all kinds of problems, if you want to know the truth. It sure is an improvement now.
The preservation of the Battery Park Hotel, as well as any buildings downtown, is extremely important just for the character and the culture of what Asheville is. If you go into communities that don't have their older buildings, you lose something. You lose a tremendous amount of identity and just sort of sense of place. But saving the older structures is very important, especially at prominent buildings such as the Battery Park.
And the Battery Hotel was basically tired and needed to be fixed up. So NCR came in as a well-respected nonprofit to do this new loan and to fix it back up to modern day times. NCR approached us through Lancaster Pollard Mortgage Company to purchase the property and rehabilitate it. It does have 122 project-based Section 8 units with it that needed to be upgraded. So we had a purchaser who wanted to purchase it and spend the money for it. We had a seller who was willing to sell it.
Since that time, however, Asheville has done a complete about-face. There's a tremendous number of residences living downtown, and I think the folks that live in the building are very fortunate because they have a lot of services they need very close by, within walking distance too.
And by the way, you know, this whole area downtown in Asheville had turned around. One of the current owners wanted to turn it into luxury condos.
We were so concerned that somebody was going to take it, where we would have to move. The majority of us, unlimited income, couldn't pay it. I mean, it would have been a whole new ball game for all of us. And of course, we were very worried at first till we found out NCR was taking it. And we were all thrilled. I think I can speak for every resident in here.
Battery Park Apartments is a really important project for us in Asheville. We've got an aging population in the mountains of western North Carolina, and it's very important for us to be able to provide affordable housing to our entire population and to keep these opportunities open. Many affordable housing projects that were developed in the 70s and 80s, the funding for them, the financing has expired, and they're going market. They're ceasing to be affordable. So it's very important for us to preserve the affordability of Battery Park Apartments.
Since National Church residents took over, I have seen numerous improvements in the remodeling of the apartments. They're beautiful. The halls are beautiful, which before they were no padding under the carpet, and we've had new paint. We've had new cabinets, new carpet, which is wonderful. We've had new Venetian blinds we didn't have. And everything in my bathroom's new tile, and the floor and tile in the kitchen's new. And everything's just wonderful. I have no complaints about nothing.
The City of Asheville is very proud to make a financial contribution to the acquisition and renovation of this building. It's a complex business, putting together the financing to preserve affordable housing, and funds have to come from many sources. And although the home funds that the City of Asheville contributed of $225,000 is only a small part of that package, it was an important part. It demonstrated the city's commitment to the project. It enabled the project then to attract other funding.
If this property had not been preserved, we would not have been able to put those residents in another new construction unit. We would give them vouchers and move them to existing facilities. But this facility itself, it's a community. It's not just housing for these people, it's a community. And they enjoy living there, they want to live there, and I think if we told them they had to move out, we would really have a problem on our hands.
I want to say thank you to NCR, all you good people, and to our manager and to everybody, because you've done a wonderful job.